Google has definitely changed the way things work in the world today. Since 2005, they introduced us to Google Earth, and since then they've made all sorts of improvements, allowing us to get a better look at the world from an outer perspective. Now, if you spend enough time on Google Earth, you'll start coming across some weird and quite unexpected things that will raise some questions about what's going on in different parts of the world. Today we're going to be looking at 10 shocking discoveries made on Google Maps. Get ready for a trip around the world and have a look at some stuff that I'm sure you didn't know existed, and we probably wouldn't know if it wasn't for Google. Get ready for number 1, because I'm sure you didn't expect Google Earth View to be precise enough to get something like that. Either way, with all that said and done, let's begin, shall we? Number 10. Island in a lake that's on an island inside a bigger lake. That sounds pretty confusing, doesn't it? But this is the kind of stuff that Google Earth is able to find for us. Geographical features that we just can't find on any other maps. This is a very small island inside a crater lake that's part of an island called Volcano Island, which is inside Lake Taal on Luzon, an island that is part of the Philippines. That was not only a mouthful of an entire sentence, but it's also like a big ol' Russian doll situation. However, the most surprising thing is that, even though the phenomenon was believed to be the largest one of its kind, people came to find out an even larger spot in Canada, where no one has ever set foot before. The one in Canada is a 4-acre space and is in Victoria Island, and people wouldn't know about this remote spot if it wasn't for the help of Google Earth. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it really works. Number 9. A swastika. The north of Kazakhstan in Central Asia has witnessed the appearance of more than 50 different geoglyphs. They come in all shapes and sizes, but the most impressive one of them all is this swastika, which is a shock honestly, because it does date back to about 2,000 years. Now, we all know this symbol became quite unpopular in the last century during World War II, and is still used as a symbol of hatred to this very day. However, 2,000 years ago, the swastikas were common in Asia and Europe, and they had an entirely different meaning. They were associated with different political beliefs. Okay, maybe not that different. The other impressive fact about this swastika in Kazakhstan is the fact that it was made out of timber, while most of the other geoglyphs were just made out of earthen mounds. In Indian religions, this is a symbol of divinity and spirituality. It represents life and the existence of an absolute force that makes the world go round. It is quite sad that it now has a negative meaning for many people, so it makes sense that a lot of us might freak out if we ever find one of these while messing around with Google Earth. Number 8. Mysterious pyramids. A trip to Egypt would not be complete without a proper visit to the famous pyramids. However, if you don't have the time, or the money, to go there, you can use Google Maps Earth View. Now, the cool thing about this feature is that it will allow you to see some pyramids that you would probably never get to see in real life. I mean, we actually don't even know if they are pyramids, but they are definitely some mysterious anomalies that are either pyramids or something even more mysterious. People can't still figure out if these spots on the maps are man-made or products of nature. It would be easier to know if the government of Egypt just went there to start excavations. However, their limited resources and the overall current situation in the country doesn't allow for further exploration. We can only hope that one day they can actually get to the bottom of this mystery. In the meantime, we can just keep using Google Maps and speculate on what these things just might be. Number 7. Phantom Island. Do you know how in sci-fi and fantasy movies there's sometimes a map that shows places that no one was aware of, and then the places just, well, disappear from the map all of a sudden? Well, something like that happened with the mysterious Sandy Island, which popped up in different maps, including Google Earth View. It was situated off the northwest side of New Caledonia. After a lot of speculation, the place was finally undiscovered in 2012, when a group of people sailed to the spot, only to find open water instead of the piece of land they were hoping to step on. An obituary for the island came out in 2013, and researchers explained how Sandy Island had been a product of human errors that led to people to include it on different maps for more than a century. Of course, though, here's the truly disturbing question. What if the place actually existed, and how come Google Earth displayed it? These findings raise a lot of questions that may or may not have to do with aliens. Number 6. A disturbing pentagram. Much like the swastika, there's another symbol that is quite disturbing to many of us, the pentagram. I mean, unless you're a metalhead like I am, then this is pretty standard to you. This symbol has been associated with a ton of messed up things, and it definitely made a lot of people think of the worst when they saw a huge one etched into the surface of a remote piece of land in Kazakhstan. This pentagram is roughly 366 meters in diameter, which is the equivalent to laying the Empire State Building horizontally. To put that into perspective, that's pretty big. When people found out about this, they began to associate the symbol to satanic cults, devil-worshipping ceremonies, all sorts of macabre ideas, and again, us metalheads kinda just brush it off. Surprisingly though, the pentagram was just the outline of a park that was made in the form of a star. The lines are now covered with trees and marked by roadways, which only makes the shape stand out more than when you look at it from aerial views. Maybe they should have just chosen another shape? Who knows. Number 5. An alien message. When you look at this spiral from an aerial perspective, you could easily think it was made by aliens. It looks like a portal to another dimension or a complex message from an ancient civilization. The fact, though, that it's in the middle of the Egyptian desert only makes things more mysterious and interesting. However, this is an art installation called Desert Breath. It was made by 3 artists. Their names are Danae Strateau, Alexandra Strateau, and Stella Constantides, and they made this piece back in 1997 with the hopes of celebrating the desert as a state of mind. It represents the infinity and the slow disintegration of people's minds. This work of art measures 1 million square feet, which explains why it can easily be seen on Google Earth. Eventually, the work will disappear as it's subject to natural erosion. However, we still have a bit of time to appreciate it via satellite pics from our phones and computer screens. Number 4. Biggest word. What do you do when you're one of the richest people on Earth? Well, you can use your money to find a way to get your name noticed by Google Earth. This is what Hamad bin Hamdan Al Nahyan did in Abu Dhabi. This billionaire, who is part of the country's ruling family, had people carve his name into the sand of the surface at Al Futaisi Island, which is one of the properties that he owns in the Persian Gulf. The letters are half a mile tall and 2 miles long altogether. They are so big that they can be spotted from space. Usually when you write things on the sand, things get washed away very quickly. But in the case of these letters, they are big enough to create waterways that actually use the water to play in their favor. Some satellite photographs have shown how the tide flows through the letters and all the way to the M. It sounds like a very fancy thing to do, and I guess that's what you do when you have that much money. Number 3. Mapvertising. Advertising is everywhere. You can see it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. It seems like everyone is out to get you regardless of what social media platform you use. And it seems like the marketing teams at some companies are so smart that they realize that a lot of us like to spend some of our free time messing around with Google Earth. For that reason, they put signs of their brand in full display for all of us to see. A big example is the largest Coca-Cola logo in the world, which you can find on a hillside in Chile. It was made with 70,000 empty Coke bottles, which makes a sign big enough for us to see on the map. Similarly, there is a KFC logo off the extraterrestrial highway in Nevada. So if you're one of those who likes to spend a lot of time on Google Maps Earth View, then you'll likely get to spot some other examples of mapvertising soon. Now it's time for the day's best pick. If you spend a lot of time watching videos, and if you love conspiracy theories, then you've probably seen this picture before. Some people claim it's a UFO, but other people disagree. Just what could it be though? Well, that would be number 2. A UFO crashing in Antarctica. When this picture came up on Google Earth, a lot of people claimed it was a UFO. You can find all sorts of videos about the event and about the different theories that people have regarding the origins of this. A lot of them keep saying that it was a UFO that crash-landed in the remote Antarctica. It is estimated to be 63 meters long and there is a trail of snow right behind it. This, at least according to some people, is the proof that the UFO came to a screeching halt prior to being spotted on these satellite pictures. However, Richard Waller, a geologist from Kiel University, believes that what we saw in this image is actually a product of a large avalanche that happened at a mountain near the spot where the photo was taken. As of today, no one has been able to determine what exactly it is that we're seeing in this picture. I guess that's one of the issues of having to rely on satellite pictures to state our theories. It would be way easier if we could just go to Antarctica and find out for ourselves. One thing is for sure, this was only one out of many UFO sightings that happened back in 2018. The image came up in a time when a lot of people were claiming to see strange flying objects all around the world. At least more than usual. Number 1. A secret base. At the top of this list, we have a very strange place in the middle of the Chinese Western Desert, and also part of the Xinjiang province. They were brought to public's attention when an ex-CIA agent published his findings and told a news source that the structures on this picture were like a secret military base. When you look at the buildings and the way things are spread out, it definitely looks like a place where the military would run their operations. However, a deeper study of the location revealed that the site was probably just another manufacturing or big economic center. It was way too close to a major population area, and there were no signs of barriers, towers, or anything else that divided them from their surroundings. However, there are some structures that look like they could be part of a helicopter testing area. So just what exactly is this place? Military base? Secret bunker? SCP Foundation? We'll probably never know. I guess this is the problem with Google Earth. We can come up with different theories regarding what we see, but we will never know what's actually happening in these places until one of us actually goes there to find out. What are your thoughts? Have you found anything strange on Google Earth? Let us know in the comments section down below. With all that said and done, I will see you all next time. Later, everybody.